Welcome to this recording of The Art of Developing Memory. This enlightening discourse was originally delivered by Paramahansa Yogananda at the Self-Realization Fellowship International Headquarters in Los Angeles, California, on August 28, 1932. In this talk, Yogananda reveals the sacred nature of memory, how it connects us to our divine origins and past lives, and offers practical guidance on how meditation, concentration, and wholesome living can awaken and strengthen this precious faculty. We are honored to share his divine insights and timeless wisdom with you today. By virtue of the faculty of memory, human beings are unique. The souls of all creatures, through unconscious recollection of their divine origin, tend naturally to seek their source. This accounts for the upward evolution of everything in the universe. But, in conformance with God's plan for creation, it is only upon attaining a human body with its superior brain and nervous system that each soul is at last endowed with the means to remember consciously its original oneness with spirit. Memory is that power by which we mentally reproduce our experiences. If it were not for memory, we would forget all our perceptions of life. We would have to start afresh, like infants, every day. A person who has lost his mind, and hence his memory, behaves like a child. There is no value in having experiences if we cannot recall and relive them. We learn by introspection and by analyzing our past behavior. In man's memory lies the value of being a human creature. John remembers that he is John each morning upon awakening, and it is through memory that he associates his life experiences with his identity as John. Whenever we wish it or need it, any experience that we have had can be reproduced by the subconscious mental faculty. By remembering what we have done before, we can perform again some skillful action that we have learned, or reason out which actions to repeat or avoid in a particular situation. The subconscious mind is always active, recording experiences during the daytime and working even in sleep, looking after the bodily house like a night watchman. Upon waking, one always knows whether he has had a good or a bad sleep. That memory power of the subconscious mind is a faculty of the ever-awake, ever-joyous Lord. Implanted in each soul is the memory seed of that consciousness, for the soul knows itself to be ever living in God. Memory is the seed of immortality, by whose cultivation we may recall all the events of this life and of our past lives. Develop divine memory. If we can remember all our experiences as mortal beings in this life, why is it that we do not recollect all the divine experiences that have happened in the soul? Memory has two natures. Mortal memory reproduces the experiences of this life, and divine memory reproduces the experiences of the soul throughout all its incarnations. Most people are aware only of mortal memory. Why is our divine memory asleep? Some people are able to recall many experiences, both mortal and divine. Others cannot well remember even their recent past. Memory has different grades in different people according to brain capacity. Education, concentration, meditation, and various memorable experiences are required to develop a good memory. Without developing memory, one cannot become a well-educated person. If one has an experience and subsequently forgets it, all values of that experience are lost to the conscious mind. By improving the quality of memory, we can make it powerful enough to remember all things, even our divine origin. By awakening the divine memory, whereby we can recall every experience of all our past lives and ultimately realize our immortal soul nature, salvation is attained. Proper physical exercise are useful in developing memory power. Today, when machines have replaced manual activity in so many functions and departments of life, man is becoming physically lazy and is in dire need of regular exercise. He has begun to devise mechanical and other types of indoor equipment to help him exercise his body. When one performs physical exercises, it is necessary to concentrate the mind on the activity in order to reap the fullest benefit. It is not just the flexing of muscles, but the inner power of concentration to awaken and redirect the life force that gives the body strength. Foods that increase memory power. There are certain foods that are brain foods. And there are muscle foods, nerve foods, and foods that help to build up and maintain the different body organs. As an aid in developing memory, we should eat foods that increase brain power. Proteins are helpful in developing memory. Ground up pecans and almonds, mixed with a few drops of lime or orange juice and taken before bedtime, will improve one's brain power, yogis say. Milk and cheese also are good brain foods. Yogis suggest that, at times of worry or strain, one should drink the juice of 1 or 2 limes in a glass of water, rinse the head with cold water, and apply cold water on the temples, between the eyebrows, and at the nostrils and ears. The nerve processes are calmed immediately, the mind becomes more peaceful, and good memory returns. Avoid eating too many fatty foods, which tend to cause fatty deposits to build up in the blood vessels on the surface of the brain. The Hindus say that pork and beef are injurious to man's health. These 2 meats contain much uric acid. The pig and cow have poor memories. By eating their flesh, man may develop their physical and mental traits. Practice exercising memory. Memory can be developed by exercising it. It is incorrect to say that a man who was born a physical weakling can never become strong. There is always the possibility of becoming and accomplishing something greater in all departments of our lives. One has to know how to seek the right ways. Similarly, according to some doctors, a person who has a hereditary mental weakness will retain that mental defect to the end of his days. But it has been proved that many mental deficiencies may be overcome by the practice of concentration exercises. There has been little research in this direction in the West. Hence, many psychologists are unacquainted with the art of deep concentration, which has been taught for centuries by India's great yogis. The correct methods for developing concentration are unknown to most people. The mental faculties are there, but they are not developed. Failure to develop one's mental capacities eventually leads to serious trouble. The brain, like the physical body, requires right exercise for health. To develop a good memory, therefore, one should not only exercise the body and eat health-building food, but should also engage in mental discipline. Make an effort to remember things. Practice the art of visualization. Look at a certain object or its scenery, and then try to reproduce that picture in your mind. Trying to recall the strains of songs and chants and singing them mentally develops memory. Anything that is done with feeling or that rouses feeling develops memory. Both poetry and music have emotional values. All of us remember easily the greatest sorrows and the greatest joys of our lives. Why? Because those experiences were felt deeply. Anything that one strongly feels develops one's power of memory. Writing poetry and adding and subtracting mentally are also good methods for developing memory and concentration. Meditation strengthens memory. To increase one's power of memory, one should do everything with deep attention. Most people carry on their activities absent-mindedly. There is a great gulf between their actions and their thoughts. That is why they cannot remember anything very well. What one wants to recall, he should perform with great attention. One should not be fussy, but whatever he undertakes should be done with his whole mind. In church, one should listen to the sermon with keen attention. Work at tasks in the home with attention and interest. Keeping the conscious mind on the task at hand does not prevent one from reflecting constantly on God in the background of his mind. But when one meditates, he should think only of God. The power of memory is strengthened by meditation. What is meditation? Becoming one with the soul. It means banishing the consciousness of being related to the body and to human limitations, and trying to remember that one is a soul. When man begins by conscious mental effort to relate himself to the immortal soul, rather than to the body that he inhabits for one life only, he will recall more of his past life experiences, and will eventually remember that he has come down from the bosom of God. In him lies the memory of all the experiences of one's life and of all lives. When man communes with his soul within, the forgotten times and powers of the deathless self will come back into his consciousness. Meditation means to remember that one is not a mortal body, but an immortal soul, one with God. During the daytime, we tend to think of ourselves as human beings, but at nighttime, in deep dreamless sleep, we forget our mortal attitude. In meditation, we can try consciously to forget our mortal identification. We can abandon the consciousness of the body and remember we are spirit. Those who persevere in this practice will become masters. Memory was given to man to reproduce good. To abuse the power of memory is harmful. To think hatefully of another person because of some remembered injury he inflicted on you is a misuse of memory. However, to recall unhappy experiences in order to learn the lessons inherent in them is a proper use of memory, as then one may analyze his past behavior and avoid repeating in future the wrong acts that brought painful results. One should not bring back any wrong thought and relive it, for then it will stay longer in the mind. Memory was given to us to keep alive only life's good experiences and lessons. Get rid of wrong past thoughts by avoiding recalling them. If they come to mind in spite of you, refuse to entertain them. Let me repeat, to remember bad experiences and dwell upon them is an abuse of God's gift to us of memory. Rather, one should vow, I shall use memory only to recall good thoughts and experiences. From this moment, I banish from my mind all unpleasant memories. They belong to the mortal being. I am a child of the Spirit. I am going to see, hear, taste, touch, feel, and will everything that is good. I shall take only the good from my life's experiences and shall preserve only the good in my memory. Banish forever the abuse of memory. A person who feels good emotions and thinks good thoughts and sees only good in nature and people will remember only good. Memory was given to you to practice the recollection of good things until you can fully remember the highest good, God. Beholding goodness in everything, you will certainly find that one day the invisible power will shatter all the little windows of thoughts and sensations and feelings through which you have been seeing only glimpses of the divine harmony in creation. You will behold through an infinite opening the omnipresent goodness God. Rouse the eternal flames of divine memory until they burn away your forgetfulness, and you remember that you always have been and are even now one with the Lord.